I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I was that girl at my gym. You know the type. Matching sets, perfect ponytail, AirPods in, always pretending to be too focused to notice anyone, but secretly watching everything like it's my personal reality show. I knew who lifted heavy, who was there just to take selfies, who came for the treadmill and left after exactly 12 minutes. And of course, I knew who looked good. That's how I noticed Evan. Evan wasn't flashy like the other guys trying to deadlift half a car while grunting loud enough for the entire building to hear. He was quiet, consistent, methodical. Black shirt, gray shorts, same beat, up sneakers every time. He moved like he'd been training for years, but never looked like he was trying to impress anyone. He'd nod politely when I walked by, never lingering, never pushing conversation. That just made me want him more. At the time, I was dating Kyle. Kyle was fine. Nice enough, worked in sales. Loved to post a couple pics with captions like my queen followed by 10 heart emojis. But after 2 years, it felt stale. Kyle was the pizza on the couch and Netflix kind of guy. I wanted something that made my heart race again, and Evan, with his quiet mystery and perfect form, felt like exactly that. It started with me accidentally using the squat rack right next to his, then asking for a spot I didn't actually need, then lingering in the stretching area until he finished his set so we could walk out together. It took a few weeks, but eventually Evan started talking to me. Nothing flirty at first, just workout tips, recommendations for shoes, stuff about recovery. Then came the moment that hooked me. One night, after a particularly tough leg day, he said, "You've got great potential if you're willing to really push yourself." The way he said it, like a challenge, made me feel seen in a way Kyle never did. From there, it escalated. We started working out together. Then texting about workouts. Then texting about other things. And then, yeah, we crossed that line. For a few weeks, I was on top of the world. I thought I had it all figured out. Kyle for stability, Evan for excitement. I told myself I was just exploring my options, that it wasn't that serious. But Evan had a way of making me feel like he got me, like he had understood why I craved more than Netflix nights. Then one afternoon, while we were cooling down after a brutal session, Evan said, "Hey, you should come to my competition next month." Apparently, he was competing in a regional powerlifting meet. He brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal, but I could tell he cared. I agreed immediately. Partly because I wanted to see him in his element, partly because I thought it would be fun to watch him win. Over the next few weeks, Evan started training harder, and I started daydreaming about what would happen if I just made the switch. Break up with Kyle. Start something official with Evan. We'd be the gym couple everyone he hates but secretly admires. Then, the week before the competition, Evan invited me to a little pre-meet gathering at his apartment. I'd never been there, so I was curious. When I arrived, I was surprised to see more than just Evan. There were a bunch of people from the gym, some I knew, some I didn't. Everyone was drinking, laughing, eating way too much for a group of fitness freaks. I didn't think much of it until Evan tapped his glass with a spoon and said, "Hey everyone, can I get your attention?" I figured he was going to give some motivational speech about the competition. Instead, he looked directly at me and said, "I want to introduce you all to someone very special. This is Lily." Everyone clapped politely, and I smiled, awkward but flattered. And he added, "Lily's been training with me for a while, and she's been, let's just say, very dedicated. So dedicated, in fact, that she's been managing to work out partners. Me and her boyfriend, Kyle." The room went dead silent. I felt my stomach drop. Evan kept going, his voice calm and almost amused. "Kyle's not here tonight, but I thought it was only fair that everyone knew what kind of team player Lily is. Oh, and don't worry, Kyle knows. I sent him a little highlight reel of our gym sessions. He said he might swing by." My knees went weak. A few people looked away, others stared with barely hidden smirks. My face was burning. Then Evan's phone buzzed. He looked at it, grinned, and said, "Speak of the devil." The door opened, and there was Kyle. He didn't yell. He didn't throw anything. He just walked up to me, handed me a small duffel bag, and said, "Your stuff. You can stay here tonight." Then he looked at Evan, shook his hand like they were closing a business deal, and walked out. I couldn't breathe. Evan just smiled and said, "Guess you've got more time to focus on your training now." The room erupted in awkward laughter, and I realized in that moment I wasn't the clever one. I was the warm-up set for whatever game Evan had been playing. I left without saying a word. The next day, I was removed from the group chat Evan had made for the gym crew. Kyle had blocked me everywhere. And when I walked into the gym that evening, it felt like everyone knew. People whispered. Some smart. One girl patted me on the back and said, "Tough break." I thought about switching gyms, but the truth is I can't afford the membership fees anywhere else. So now, every time I go in, I see Evan training like nothing happened, Kyle working out with new people, and me, the girl who thought she could juggle, only to end up dropping everything in front of a crowd. Evan went on to win his competition. Everyone congratulated him. And me? I learned that in the gym, like in life, some people play for the long game, and some people are just there to get played.